Hola!
Hola!
Well, there we are, we're in Spain. Isn't this just glorious?
It was incredible.
So we're on to one of the last admin jobs before we go away, and that's to go and get Claude weighed.
We've made a few changes and we're taking some different things this time. So we just want to make sure that everything's okay and we've evidence that we've done it, just in case.
And also, it's interesting.
It is interesting.
There we are. We have weighed 3,355 kilos. So on our 3.5 ton, we still have a little bit, but we're fully packed. Water's full. The only thing that we're a bit short on is diesel, but that's only about 10 or 15 litres.
Yeah.
And we won't be buying that much food in the supermarket.
I do hope not. Although knowing us, who can tell?
I wanna take you out, show you the time of your life.
Welcome to a very blustery Port Solent. So we're parked up at the Marina Keep. You'll find this on Park for Night. It's free, but you have to ring security to let them know you're in. Well, we're a day ahead of our scheduled ferry, as per.
Yes, we had ideas that we might go to the see the Mary Rose. It was £94 for the two of us, with a 10% discount.
Which is a bit much.
And there's lots of other things, but I don't want to see any of the other things. You only want to see the Mary Rose.
Anyway, so it's a bit blustery here.
It is.
We're going to settle down, have some dinner, and we will pick you up tomorrow. Our ferry isn't until
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock tomorrow evening.
Yes.
So we have a legendary earliness factor.
We didn't really need to do a 4.5 hour drive down, did we?
Never mind. See you later.
I wanna take you out, show you the time of your life.
Well, there we are. We had a very peaceful night. Well, actually, it wasn't that peaceful. It was quite noisy, the car park.
And it was raining and windy. It was very loud.
Yeah, which isn't really Portsmouth's fault.
Turn right, then turn left onto Marina Keep.
But the car park at Port Solent is free. There aren't any facilities for motorhomers. I mean, there are bins actually, but there's an amazing array of restaurants, which neither Park 4 Night nor Search for Sights seem to highlight. So we have done our review and
mentioned
those, because if we'd have realised that, we could have gone out for a pizza last night, which would have been nice. But anyway, so we then spent the day there, really. We were going to go to the Portsmouth Historic Dockyard, as I think we've already said. We were a bit...
Oh, that was... Oh, gosh, everything's falling.
We were a bit... we were a bit shocked by the £101 for the two of us, but then we kind of rationalised that overnight. Found out we might have been able to get tickets just to see the Mary Rose, and thought we'd do that. But when we drove over there this morning, there's no parking.
All the car parks had height barriers, so
we didn't do that. Anyway, we're now on our way to the port to catch our ferry. We spent the day really waiting for an Amazon locker delivery to arrive. But
somebody poured Coke over the camera. Not deliberately, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think it was the best plan. And then we had a problem with the SD card. And so I ordered a new SD card to an Amazon locker, but it's now getting on for 7:45 in the evening, and it hasn't yet arrived. All right, onwards to the port. We'll catch you later.
I wanna figure out what it takes to give you everything you desire. I wanna lay beneath.
Well, we made it. We're on the ferry, and this is our home for the next 20 odd hours as we travel from Portsmouth to Bilbao. And isn't it fancy? Look, we've even got a window. Although it's a bit dark, so you can't see a great deal.
Hola!
Hola!
We have arrived finally in Spain. We've just done our first supermarket shop. 40 something euros. I heard to say quarantas.
41.66.
41.66, which is dinners for about 3 or 4 days at least.
At least.
So
What's going on here?
that was Mercadona as well. Bit of a treat. I like Mercadona. And now we're heading to our first park up. That was a bit of a...
We're heading to our first park up, which is the second choice. Because the first choice made
was
by
in the
the
wrong direction.
Flying Gods was actually in the direction of San Sebastian, which is kind of heading from Bilbao to France,
Yeah.
which was the wrong way around.
Oopsie.
But never mind, it's not the end of the world. I'm just trying to find where we're actually going, and we'll take you along with us. So we'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Hola!
Hola.
Well, there we are, we're in Spain. It was quite a nice crossing.
It was relatively calm.
Brittany ferries on the Galicia,
Would have been better if the restaurant hadn't been right at the front of the boat.
and it was a bit bumpy.
At that point, that was horrible.
But that was only the point where it was coming to the end of the English bit and rounding onto the peninsula of France. And when two seas come together,
They tend to get a bit angry at each other.
so we arrived around about 7 a.m. UK time, 8 a.m. Spanish time, and it took about an hour and a half to go through passport control. We were expecting to complete the new EES, but we didn't even get a stamp in the passport. So best laid plans, we were going to stay in a campsite near...
I'd found a lovely little park up just outside San Sebastian. It sounded delightful, but looking at the map, we then realised that it was about an hour and a half in the wrong direction. So we gave up on that, turned round, went back the way we'd come, and found here.
So we're probably about 40 minutes, an hour away from Santander, and we're going to head in that direction tomorrow, and then we've got some exciting cave visits booked for the couple of days after that, and we'll take you along with us. But in the meantime, isn't this just glorious? Welcome to the Atlantic Ocean. Actually, I think here we're still at the edge of the what they call the Celtic Sea, which extends down the side of Brittany and then across to Spain. I'm rather hoping we're going to see quite a lot of Celtic influence on our trip.
I think we might.
Good morning. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. It's a bit breezy. So we are on the other side of the bay to where we stayed last night. You can just about see those little terracotta roofs over there. That's where we were last night. and we've come around the corner following the N634 to this, what I think can only be described as a bit of a seaside town, a bit of a resort. Huge campsite, and here we are surrounded by these beautiful hills and this most incredible beach. It's a beautiful day today, at 13 degrees. So we've pulled over to look at the Arboreto di Liendo, and this is a heritage site which contains trees and fauna of the local area, and there is a hermitage. So this area is part of the Camino de Santiago, and this hermitage was a place of refuge for pilgrims, but also now contains an exhibition, so we're going to go and see if it's open. In the spring sunshine, the smell of this forest is incredible. It's really sweet, and the wild flowers everywhere, absolutely beautiful. It's such a gloriously peaceful place, apart of course from the barking of the dog. We are using the Merlin app, and the Merlin app tells us that we can hear the carrion crow, a common chaffinch, a great tit, a Eurasian blackcap, a Eurasian wren and a Eurasian robin. It's just quite magical.
Tonight's stop is an official air, €7 a night, and you get water, grey waste, black waste, electricity if you want it. It's right by a really pretty sort of footpath in the mountains, but the weather is glorious. The wind's got up a little bit now as the evening's come on, but it's absolutely beautiful. We're staying here whilst we go to the caves that I've been so excited for, so I hope I'm not disappointed by the caves. And we'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Swimming pool just behind. It's not open yet. They open the swimming pool on the Feast of San Juan, which is the 21st of June. And it will be open from then until the beginning of September, and almost certainly not heated, so don't get too excited if you're here. Good morning.
Hello.
We are at the Cuevas de Monte Castillo, the caves of the mountain castle. Our tour is at 12:40, and we had to arrive 40 minutes early. Now, we've already said we get everywhere early, haven't we? Guess what time it is?
It is 11:40.
We're an hour early. Oh my goodness. Idiots.
But it's a stunning.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It really is.
Apparently, you can stay overnight on this car park. People say it's a bit slopey. It is a bit, but you could level it with ramps.
No, well, that's camping behaviour, so you're not allowed to level with ramps.
Oh yeah, true. That's a problem. That was incredible. 150,000 years ago, people were living in that cave. 45,000 years ago, they started to paint on the walls.
But only 150
Yeah.
paintings have survived, but the paintings were amazing. I mean, they'd used a variety of techniques. Most of us are aware of the sort of techniques that prehistoric painters used. So they've used charcoal, they've used sort of red ochre, that they've used either with a stick as a paintbrush, or indeed doing the against the wall to leave a handprint. There was a series of handprints which were just handprint over handprint over handprint. It was an incredible place. It really was. But in the opening, so the idea is that the people that travelled here, they were nomads. And at the beginning of the cave, where you go through the green door into the areas where the paintings are, there was a promontory, sort of an open space, and it's thought that they lived in that open space. And there was something like 20 meters of human litter. So charcoal fires, bones from animals, old shoes, this, that, and the other, building up 20 meters of a sort of litter that built the platform that they were living on. It was a very, very interesting place.
Amazing. So more caves tomorrow.
So following the caves, we came down to the museum. The caves are very controlled because of the age and friability of the surfaces. So they were quite dark, which is one of the reasons why you couldn't take photographs. And obviously they didn't want any contamination. So coming down now into the museum space, and we can see an example of what we saw firsthand in the cave, and that is that's a hand painting. So if Darrelle puts a hand into the shape,
I have got very small hands.
you will see. And the way that I made this is by getting some liquefied red ochre and blowing or spitting it over the hand to create the image. If I lay my hand over the print, you'll see that my hand is about the same size. Interesting, isn't it? So here in the museum, you can explore the cave that you can't take photographs in. So for example, this is the wall of hands. You can just about see on this picture where the handprints are. It's really very difficult to show it on film. You do need to go and see it yourselves. I would certainly highly recommend it. It is the oldest cave art in Europe. Absolutely extraordinary. And so, the momentous moment has arrived. Claude has now spent, well, this will be his third night in Spain.
Well.
And so, he qualifies for his sticker. Now, am I going to let Darrelle apply the sticker?
Oh, I wouldn't. I'm scared. I'll do it wrong.
Oh, there we are, you see. Apparently, no, I'll have to do a bit of chipping and chopping there. Right, just keep on recording.
Okay.
Hang on. Oh, apparently, Darrelle is not allowed to apply the sticker because we haven't got the required masking tape and pencil lines. I have to do it freehand. Well, there we are. Well done, Claude. Welcome to Spain.
Yay!
See, it's not level.
Well, I didn't make it not level, so. Oh, good.
Well, we have had an amazing time in Cantabria, but this is just a very small part of our journey. So, join us as we leave Cantabria and enter the Asturias, and we've got a couple more caves to visit. Do hope you're enjoying the video. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe, give it a like, drop us a comment. Any places that you think we should be visiting as we move through the Asturias into Galicia and then down into Portugal to Bilbao to take our ferry to Ireland. Thanks for watching.
I wanna take you out, show you the time of your life.